Have you ever wondered which states in the US have the most Scandinavian immigrants? It's a fascinating question that brings us on a journey through history and culture. The story of Scandinavian immigration to the United States has its roots in the early 19th century. It all began with the Norwegians, who stepped foot on American soil in 1825, New York to be precise. A couple of decades later, the Swedes and Danes followed suit, bringing with them a rich tapestry of traditions that would weave itself into the American fabric. These hardy Scandinavians found their home in the upper Midwest and the Pacific Northwest. They were drawn to these regions by the promise of fertile farmland and opportunities in the lumber industry. Today, their descendants continue to thrive in these regions, contributing to the diverse cultural mosaic of the United States. So without further ado, let's dive in and discover which states these industrious Scandinavians decided to call home. Starting at number 10, we have the beautiful state of Oregon. Now, you might be wondering, why Oregon? Well, let's delve into that. The Scandinavian immigrants who landed in Oregon were primarily drawn by the lush, fertile land reminiscent of their homelands. They saw potential for farming and the lumber industry, which were familiar trades to many of them. The temperate climate and breathtaking landscapes, from the towering Cascade Range to the rugged Pacific coastline, mirrored the scenic beauty of Scandinavia. This undoubtedly played a part in making them feel at home, away from home. Today, their descendants continue to thrive and contribute to the rich tapestry of Oregon's culture, leaving a lasting legacy that's as enduring as the state's majestic mountains and forests. You'll find traces of their influence in local cuisine, architecture, and community life, keeping their unique heritage alive. So, Oregon, with its blend of natural beauty and cultural richness, truly deserves its spot on our list. Next up, we travel to the heartland of America. Coming in at number 9 is the agricultural powerhouse, Iowa. A state famed for its cornfields and rolling plains, Iowa provided a home away from home for many Scandinavian immigrants. The promise of fertile soil and abundant farmland was a tempting draw for many a Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish settler. These hard-working immigrants brought with them a love of the land, a trait that fit right in with Iowa's agrarian ethos. They toiled and tilled, transforming the landscape into a patchwork quilt of flourishing crops. Their strong work ethic, a cornerstone of their Scandinavian heritage, was reflected in the fields they sowed and the communities they built. The Scandinavian influence remains palpable in Iowa today, woven into the fabric of the state's culture. From traditional Scandinavian festivals to the hearty comfort food served in local diners, the legacy of these immigrants lives on. From the heartland, we now head west. At number 8, we have the Golden State, California. With its diverse landscapes from sun-kissed beaches to towering redwood forests, California has always been a land of opportunity and adventure. The Scandinavian settlers who made California their home found a place where they could thrive, thanks to the state's rich natural resources and booming industries. This is a contrast to the farmland and lumber jobs they were used to in the Midwest and Pacific Northwest. Many Scandinavians were drawn to the state's gold rush in the mid-19th century, while others found success in the burgeoning film industry of Hollywood or in the fertile Central Valley known as the breadbasket of America. Today you can find Scandinavian influence throughout California, from Danish-style architecture in the town of Solvang to the annual Scandinavian Festival in Thousand Oaks. The Golden State certainly shines a little brighter thanks to its Scandinavian heritage. Moving away from the sunshine, we head to the mountains. At number 7, we find ourselves in the mountainous state of Montana. A state known for its sweeping landscapes, Montana was a choice destination for Scandinavian immigrants in the mid-19th century. The appeal? Vast tracts of fertile land, perfect for farming and reminiscent of their homelands. These hardy settlers found work in Montana's burgeoning lumber and mining industries. Their hard work and determination helped shape Montana into the state it is today, and their influence is still felt. Think about it. The Scandinavian love for the great outdoors, it's mirrored in Montana's vibrant outdoor culture, where hiking, fishing, and camping are cherished pastimes. The state's natural beauty, coupled with opportunities for work and land ownership, made Montana a beacon for Scandinavian immigrants. Their legacy lives on in the state's rich cultural tapestry, contributing to its unique charm. From the mountains, we head to the desert, but Montana's story of Scandinavian immigration is one that deserves to be remembered. At number 6, we're in the unique state of Utah. The allure of Utah for Scandinavian immigrants during the 19th century was largely due to religious freedom. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormon Church, had missionaries in Scandinavia who encouraged converts to make the journey to Utah, the church's headquarters. These Scandinavians were drawn to the promise of a community where they could freely practice their newfound faith. Beyond religion, Utah offered opportunities similar to their homeland. The state's diverse terrain, from its snow-capped mountains to its arid desert, mirrored the varied landscapes of Scandinavia. This familiar environment was conducive to farming, hunting and fishing, activities that these immigrants were already skilled in. Today, the legacy of these early Scandinavian settlers can be seen in Utah's strong sense of community, love for the outdoors, and a work ethic that aligns with the Scandinavian way of life. Next, we're going north. At number 5, it's the prairie state of South Dakota. This vast land of rolling plains and open skies was a natural draw for Scandinavian immigrants, who found in its fertile soil a new home that reminded them of their old one. After all, Scandinavians are known for their love of the outdoors and their strong work ethic, two traits that served them well in the agricultural heartland of South Dakota. Farming was, and still is, a major part of life in this state. The Scandinavians, with their knowledge of farming in harsh climates, found their skills well suited to the rugged terrain. They cultivated the land, planting crops that thrived in the northern climate, and gradually they built thriving communities. Today their legacy lives on in the many South Dakotans of Scandinavian descent. Their influence is evident in the state's culture, from its cuisine to its music, and in the strong sense of community that prevails. Heading west, we find the fourth state, fourth. At number 4, we have the evergreen state, Washington. Now, why would Scandinavians choose Washington? Well, the answer lies in the trees. Lots and lots of trees. Washington's extensive forests provided a thriving lumber industry that attracted immigrants from Scandinavia in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. These hardy folk, many of whom came from heavily forested regions of Norway, Sweden, and Finland, found familiarity in the towering evergreens and a livelihood in the lumber camps. They worked as loggers, mill workers, and even shipbuilders, contributing significantly to the state's booming timber economy. And it wasn't just the jobs. The cool, moist climate and the rugged, mountainous landscapes of Washington were reminiscent of home, providing a comforting sense of familiarity. Many Scandinavian immigrants found a sense of community here, building churches, schools, and social clubs that helped preserve their rich heritage and traditions. Now let's head back to the Midwest. Coming in at number 3 is the dairy state, Wisconsin. Known for its cheese, milk, and butter, Wisconsin has long been a haven for dairy farmers, a vocation many Scandinavian immigrants found appealing. When they first arrived in the mid-19th century, the fertile farmland and favorable climate for dairy farming were irresistible draws for these hardy settlers, many of whom hailed from similarly agricultural regions back in Scandinavia. In addition to dairy farming, Wisconsin's lumber industry also provided ample job opportunities. The state's abundant forests echoed the wooded landscapes of their homelands, making it a familiar and comfortable choice. The Scandinavian influence is still evident in Wisconsin today, from the annual 17. Maj Norwegian festival in Stoughton to the traditional Swedish and Danish bakeries in Door County. Indeed, the Scandinavian work ethic, love for the outdoors, and commitment to community have become part of the very fabric of Wisconsin. Next, we journey to the second state. At number 2, we have the rugged state of North Dakota. This state, known for its vast plains and harsh winters, attracted a significant number of Scandinavian immigrants in the 19th and 20th centuries. One of the main reasons for this migration was the promise of fertile farmland, similar to the landscapes of Norway and Sweden. The Scandinavian settlers saw North Dakota as a land of opportunity, where they could cultivate crops and build new lives for their families. In addition to farming, the oil industry played a significant role in attracting Scandinavians to North Dakota. The state's oil boom in the early 20th century provided numerous jobs, and many Scandinavians, known for their strong work ethic, seized these opportunities. Today, the influence of Scandinavian culture is evident throughout North Dakota, from the hearty cuisine to the traditional Scandinavian festivals celebrated each year. Finally, we arrive at the state with the most Scandinavian immigrants. Finally, at number 1, we have the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota. Home to a large number of Scandinavian descendants, this state has a rich history of Nordic influence. Its appeal to the Scandinavian settlers in the mid-19th century was largely due to its resemblance to their homeland, with its abundance of water and woods. The state offered promising farmland, ideal for the agricultural lifestyle that the Scandinavians were accustomed to. They saw potential in Minnesota's fertile soil and the opportunity to cultivate a home away from home. Additionally, the state's numerous lakes and rivers were a draw for those with a background in fishing, another occupation familiar to the Scandinavians. Today, the impact of these early settlers can be seen in the state's culture, from its cuisine to its celebrations. Minnesota's Scandinavian roots run deep, influencing the way of life in this northern state. So there you have it, the top 10 states with the most Scandinavian immigrants. Scandinavian immigrants have truly left their mark on these states and indeed on the entire country. From the frost-kissed plains of North Dakota to the sun-drenched beaches of California, their legacy is woven into the fabric of America. They brought with them a strong work ethic, a love for the outdoors, and a deep sense of community, values that still resonate today. These 10 states, from Minnesota to Oregon, have been greatly enriched by the arrival of Norwegians, Swedes, and Danes since the early 19th century. They found opportunities in the farmlands of the Midwest and jobs in the lumber industry of the Pacific Northwest. Now, Scandinavian Americans compose about 3% of the U.S. population, and their contributions to music, literature, and food have become integral parts of our shared culture. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe to Explore Mort's World for more exciting explorations. See you next time.